First Peter tells us that we need to always be ready to give an answer for the reason that we have our hope in Jesus. Okay, and this is one of those things. We need to be able to tell people the truth about Jesus. We need to be able to tell them. So we can't tell them if we don't know what it is, and we can't tell them if we're not keeping up on things. I mean, there's lots of things that well, I can't really say a lot, but we're called to be in this world. We're not called to not be a part of it. Okay, we're not supposed to be lovers of this world like the lost people are. We're called to be separated. We're called to be set apart. We're called to be holy. That's God's charge on our lives. And that means being different. It means being different than the rest of the people who don't know Christ, who don't know Jesus, who don't go to church. We're supposed to be different from them. Okay? We're supposed to act differently than they do, talk differently than they do, speak differently than they do. We're supposed to be different. And when a person who doesn't know anything about church, give me one second. When a person who doesn't know anything about church, doesn't know anything about Christ, watches this video, they may look at this and go, "Oh, wow, yeah, that's what that Jesus there looks pretty good. I like what I see in that." But what do you say to that? What do you say to that? What do you say to somebody who, honestly, God is really working in their life, and God's put you in their life to bring them to Jesus? Okay? What do you say to someone like that if you don't know, if you don't have the information, if you don't know what's real, what's not, if you don't know what's truth and what's not? Okay? How can you lead someone to Jesus, or how can you carry on a conversation that actually means something, that actually has some truth to it, okay, if you don't know the information, you don't know the facts? So this is one of those things. I don't really don't like doing one-offs where it's just one message about one thing. I really don't like doing that. Okay, but this is one of those things that doesn't garner more than one. But this is one of those things that really needs to be talked about. It needs to be addressed, because maybe your friends haven't talked about this video, but there's probably a good chance that a lot of your friends have seen this video, whether it was on the Super Bowl or whether it's on something, because it's all over TV still. Okay, maybe your friends have seen this video, and maybe they don't bring it up, but here's the thing. This is one of those ways that you can always have a conversation about Jesus. But here's the thing. We're supposed to always be on the lookout for ways to share our faith. Okay? And maybe your friends aren't talking about this video, but maybe you can be the one that says, "Hey, did you catch that? The latest He Gets Us video. What do you think about that?" Okay? Because they've seen it, because it's all over TV, it's all over several channels, it's all over the internet, it's all over every social media. They've seen it. Okay? So maybe you can be the one that starts the conversation about it, and you can be the one that actually begins a conversation that could lead somebody to Jesus. But if you don't know what's real, what's not, what's truth, and what's not, okay, you can actually lead somebody down the wrong road. And that's what we're trying to make sure that we're not doing. That's what we're trying to make sure that we are not doing. So He gets us. You guys, if whether you watched the Super Bowl or whether you didn't, okay, you've seen they have several commercials on us, not several, but they have a handful of commercials. They've been out there for a while now. This is not the first time they've done a video. Okay, they've done videos on loving your neighbor. Great concept. Okay, loving your neighbor, and they ask, "Who is my neighbor?" Great question, but we don't have to ask who is my neighbor, because the Bible tells us our neighbor is literally every single person on the face of this earth. That's who our neighbor is, and we're supposed to love them and want them to find Jesus. Okay, good commercial, but it doesn't exactly have the right message. It doesn't have the biblical message. Okay, but He gets us. If you guys don't know this, He gets us. This company spent $16 million. Okay, I mean, think of that. A non-for-profit organization spends $16 million to get a message out to 100 to 150 million people watching the Super Bowl, and then who knows how many other millions of people since then have seen it just on TV. Okay, that's a lot of money. That's a ton of money to spend on anything, let alone a commercial. But what's the message? Okay, what's the message of the video? Okay, do you guys have any idea what are they really trying to get across through this video? What's the message?
Wash people's feet.
That he still loves you even though what you are.
Okay. Okay.
Wash people's feet.
Okay. You as a person of the church know that it's really about loving people. Okay. But the vast majority of people watch that and go, so we're just supposed to wash everybody's feet? That's the message that they got. $16 million to tell people you're supposed to wash feet. Okay? That's a whole lot of money to get the wrong message across to a whole bunch of people. Okay? So why do we need to even really, why do we need to talk? We need to talk about this because it's important, because your friends are out there and they've watched this video and they're going to say, I'm supposed to wash people's feet? And you're supposed to say, maybe that's the message that you get, but that's not the message that Jesus wanted to give through washing the disciples' feet. The night before he was going to be betrayed and arrested and beaten and killed. Okay? That's not the message he wanted to give. Okay? Did I put this on here? Okay. He gets us. Okay? These are some of the pictures from their website. Okay? And they look like they're real people. Okay? We have a teenage girl who's dealing with a lot of issues, a lot of stress, a lot of emotion, a lot of anxiety. We don't know what it is, but she's dealing with something. It's real. Okay? It's real. We have immigrants trying to get into the country. Okay? It's real. Okay? These are real people doing real things. We have a family with a newborn. Okay? If you guys don't know, but man, those first few weeks, first few months of having a newborn at home, okay? I mean, it's special, but it is some of the hardest times you will ever face in your entire life, because you get no sleep. You're still required to carry on, take care of your family, take care of your job, take care of all your other things. But now you have a newborn that's adding on top of that needs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And it won't shut up.
Attention and care, and it doesn't stop. It might stop for a couple hours at a time, but the next thing you know, boom, they wake up. It's time to feed again. Okay, they need to be taken care of 24 hours a day. It's really, really hard. So these images look good. These images look like, okay, these are things that real people deal with, and they really, really are. But the He Gets Us movement is really teaching the wrong message. Okay. Like I said, they spent $16 million on Super Bowl Sunday to get this ad out there. $16 million. And what is the message that they sent? Wash people's feet. Okay?
And most people don't even understand.
And most people have no clue what that really, really means. Why would they have done that in Jesus' time? And, I can wash somebody's feet. It's really not that big of a deal. Our feet kind of gross and disgusting. Sometimes they are. Okay? But they're definitely not like they were in Bible times. But here's the other question that I wanted to ask. Who are they really targeting in their audience?
Non-Christian.
Okay? That should be who they're targeting. But if you really, really watch it, we're going to talk about this here in just 1 second. If you really, really watch this video, I don't think they're targeting lost people. I think they're targeting the church. Okay? Exactly. That's exactly what we're going to talk about. Okay? It all sounds really, really good. Here, I thought I had this on here. Okay. This is directly from their website. Okay? Directly from He Gets Us website. They said, we began to imagine a world where ideological others, people who have different viewpoints and different theologies and different this and different that. Okay? All those people with different ideologies, where they were willing to set aside their differences and wash one another's feet. Okay? That sounds great. Okay? You believe differently than I do. Let's set aside our differences and let's wash each other's feet. Okay? What's the point? They totally missed the point of the foot washing service. Okay? They totally missed it. It's not about acceptance. That's not what why he washed their feet. It was not about, hey, I accept you for who you are. That's not why he washed their feet. We're going to talk about that here in just 1 second. So they got it completely wrong. They spent $16 million and continue to spend money to have this commercial go out in advertising for the wrong message. All right? So if you haven't seen, you need a reminder of this. Okay, there are 12 pictures. Okay, I challenge you to watch these 12 pictures. Okay, look at who's on there. All right, what message do you think they're getting across with this? All right, And who do you think their intended audience really is in this video? So just watch it. But anyway, this video to me attacks Christianity. It attacks Christianity. It says, you people are not living the way Jesus says we're supposed to live. And to be fair, many Christians are not. We're not. But the implications of this video, this is where your notes are. The implication of this video is that if we don't wash people's feet, we're actually hating them. That's pretty much what I got from watching the video. If you don't wash their feet, then you're a hater. And that's just wrong. Okay? That is wrong. That is not the message that Jesus portrayed when he washed the disciples' feet. They were arguing over who was better, who was greater, who was more important out of their group. And so Jesus washed their feet to say, hey, you need to humble yourself and put other people before you. That was the message that Jesus was getting across during this time. Okay? Not to mention, Jesus didn't teach hate. Yes, duh, we all know that. We all know it's wrong to hate. Okay? It's pretty simple. We know that. But Jesus washed feet one time. One night. One time. That was it. But he talks about loving your neighbor, loving other people, let people see the love of God in you over and over and over again. The number one topic in all the scripture is love. Loving people, treating them right. Doing things for them, putting them ahead of yourself. Okay? Now, washing their feet today, that's not really an act of real love, in my opinion. 2,000 years ago, that was an act of love because of the way feet work. Okay? But Jesus, 15 times in the gospel alone says, love one another. Only one time he washed their feet. So why did they choose this? Instead of, what does it really mean to love someone? $16 million they wasted on this. Okay? But yes, Jesus didn't teach hate. But Jesus didn't. The scriptures tell us that we are supposed to hate certain things. Okay? Okay, so not supposed to hate people. We're supposed to hate certain things, certain actions. It says in Proverbs 6 that the Lord hates, he detests haughty eyes. That means somebody who looks down on other people. Okay, you think you're better than everybody else, or prideful, whatever it might be. Okay, he hates it when you look down on other people thinking that we are better than they are. Okay, he hates haughty eyes. He hates a lying tongue. He hates hands that kill the innocent. He hates a heart that plots evil. He hates feet that race to do wrong things. He hates a false witness who pours out lies. And he hates a person who sows discord in a family or division within a family. Those are the things that the Lord hates. But you notice it doesn't say he hates these people. He hates these actions. And what the Lord hates, we're supposed to hate. What the Lord loves, we're supposed to love. The Lord loves people. But he hates what they do sometimes. So, this is another video that a man recently made, actually from Europe. He made this himself. This is the video he gets us should have played. Okay, but he made this. This is what Jesus came for. And this is why it's important that we know he gets us is actually wrong. This is why Jesus came. This is why we preach the gospel. This is why we love and serve other people. Not just to wash their feet. We do it for this.
Don't ask me what you know is true. Don't have to tell you I love your precious heart. I was standing, you were there. Two worlds collided, and they could never tear us apart. We can live for 1,000 years.
Okay. You see the difference? Wash people's feet or let the power of God transform your life into something greater. Right? Jesus said in Luke 5:32, I came to seek and to save that which was lost. That's why he came to this earth. He didn't come to this earth to wash people's feet. He came to this earth to seek and to save the lost and to save them. So what does this really mean for me and for you? Okay? When it comes to this commercial that they play that he gets his people, okay, when we say to the non-Christian person out there, hey, just come get your feet washed, okay, we're lying to them. We're lying to them. Hey, just come wash your feet. You're accepted. You're good. That's not what Jesus would have done. Okay? If we say, come wash your feet, instead of repent, believe in Jesus, we're saying that their lifestyle is okay. Their sin is okay. And that they deserve, that's a big word in today's society, isn't it? They deserve to have their feet washed. Oh, you've been through so much pain and persecution. Have your feet washed. You deserve this. You deserve better. You deserve more. Even though you haven't done a single thing to earn it. Let's just be honest. None of us has ever done anything to deserve God's love. None of us deserves Jesus' sacrifice. We don't deserve it. We don't deserve his love. We don't deserve his grace. We don't deserve his forgiveness. But he did it anyway. Okay? So come get your feet washed was not the message Jesus wanted to deliver. Okay? That your sin is okay. That you deserve this was not the message that Jesus came. Everybody talks about John 8:7 when we have the woman and the woman at the well, the woman in adultery. I mean, there's all kinds of things that are out there. They talk about, man, well, Jesus just forgave these people. But Jesus didn't just forgive those people. What is the ending? Okay, what is the last thing that Jesus said to those people before he left them? You guys remember?
Go and make disciples of all nations.
That was the disciples. I'm talking about the woman at the well. I'm talking about the woman caught in adultery. Okay, after he told them about their lives, and he showed his love to them, and he showed the power of God's transformation to them, and they believed in Jesus right there on the spot. What did he say? Okay, he said, "Go and sin no more." It's a different message. He gets us as saying, "Hey, your sin is okay." Jesus accepts you, and he accepts your sin. Yes, Jesus accepts them the way they are, but Jesus does not accept their sin. Jesus accepts us the way we are, but he does not accept our sin. That's why he died, so that we wouldn't do those types of things anymore. And we're told to eliminate sin from our life at all costs. That's what we're told to do. Okay, Romans 12:1 and 2, we know this verse, we talk about it pretty regularly. One of my favorite two verses, if not my favorite two verses in all of Scripture. You're right, Paul lays it out plainly for us. And so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you, beg, urge with you to give your bodies to God because of all he's done for you. Let your bodies be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind he finds acceptable. This is truly the way to worship him. Okay? But then here, this is it, guys. Don't copy the behavior and the customs of this world. Don't fall into what they're doing, okay? But let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. That's where it starts, changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. You see, the most loving thing that we can do for people is when we see them doing something wrong, we help them fix it. We help correct it. Okay? When you're at school and you do something wrong on a paper, on a test, on a homework assignment, do they just go, "Oh, well, it's okay, you messed up, I'm still going to give you full credit for it"? No. You get a big red circle, a big red mark, you get it wrong. That's how you learn them. That's how you learn. I'm not saying we walk around with a big red Sharpie and just start, marking on people. No, we don't do that. And we don't get up in people's faces and start yelling and screaming at them. But we lovingly approach them as Jesus said, "Hey, yes, this isn't the husband that the person you're living with is not your husband. In fact, you've been married 5 different times, and the person you're living with now is not your husband." He didn't grill her. He just told her the truth in love. He said, "But hey, your faith will heal you. Your faith in me will make you whole. Your faith in me will give you forgiveness. Your faith in me will help you as you move forward." And then he would say, just concluded, "Go and sin no more. Go and sin no more." See, every message that Jesus gave, every single message he gave, whether it was to disciples, whether it was people, was ultimately about one thing, and it was about the transformation power that we find only in God. That's what every message that he had was about. Every single one came back to let God into your life. Let him transform you into the person he created you to be. Not just, oh, wallow in your sin. It's okay. God will still love you and still forgive you. I was like, no. Be transformed. Be changed. Be renewed. Be renewed. Okay? Our number one current concern in life should be obeying God. Not being well liked, not being well received by people. This is the number one thing that I hear all the time. I can't tell people about Jesus because I don't know enough. That's the number one excuse I get all the time. And then follow right behind that is because I don't want them to laugh at me. Because I don't want them to ridicule me. Because I don't want them to mock me or make fun of me. I want to be liked by people. I want to be received by people. But was that the message that Jesus had for us? Was Jesus well received? Yes, there's a lot of times where people literally followed him by the thousands. But most of the time when Jesus said, hey, if you truly want to follow me, you truly want to be my disciple, then sell everything you have, give it to the poor. They'd turn around and walk away. Or he would say, pick up your cross, deny yourself, and follow me. And they'd turn around and walk away. They wanted to follow him so they could see his miracles and so they could be a part of the things that he was doing. But when it came to really following Jesus, when it came to really obeying him, they left. Jesus was not well received. I mean, after all, he was arrested, he was beaten, and he was crucified by his own people. So was he well received? He wasn't well received. Were the disciples well received? Okay? 10 of the 11 disciples were martyred. They were killed for their faith. They weren't well received, but they kept going. They kept doing. They were more concerned about being obedient to God than about being well received by man. And that's where we have to stop. Okay, are they gonna accept me if I talk about Jesus? It doesn't matter if they're gonna accept you or not. They're not rejecting you, they're rejecting God. We have to realize that. It's our job to share. It's our job to tell. Okay? We have to be willing to say that, hey, you know what, I care enough about you to say some of these difficult things. To say difficult things in a loving, Christ-like manner. Right? The main thing is, guys, the message of the Bible is not that Jesus gets us. Of course he gets us. He created us. So he knows us inside and out better than we know ourselves. He doesn't get us. The message of the Bible is the fact that we need to get Jesus into our lives.